What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in, especially with this video. Obviously, this is no normal video here on the channel by any stretch of the imagination, but this is probably one of the most important videos that I've ever personally made, because I'm announcing something absolutely huge. This has been something that I've been working on pretty much for years at this point, at least as a concept, and there's obviously been a pretty major investment put into this, and it's a really big passion project for me, as is pretty much everything that I do with my YouTube channel and I guess my brand in general, but the initial plan for this was to go live at 1 p.m. Eastern and talk about it here on the channel live with you guys to kind of introduce the entire thing, bring you guys some of the features and stuff like that, and, well, I guess more or less just really announce everything for you. Unfortunately, that plan did change. I had to more or less tend to an immediate emergency that came up this afternoon in my personal life, and thankfully everything is okay with that, and I was able to at least salvage the plan and do something with it. So for about nearly 2 years now, I've had this idea to have my own website and to continue branching out the Optimus brand into all types of different things. I don't want to be just a YouTube channel or anything like that. I think that there's a lot of potential to benefit for everyone in so many different categories with different things. And this means that I've been taking steps that I think will not only insulate my business, but also can provide immense value and also cool experiences for my audience. And my plan is finally coming to fruition. Now, you may remember that I had something called Optiworld, which was my first website, and it had a really solid run. It was live for well over a year, it had a solid user base, and it was going very well. I mean, better than I actually ever had anticipated, but due to the limitations that it faced, it was doomed to fail eventually, even if it wasn't just within the first few months or anything, and even if it was just my personal website. But I started to think forward about the possibilities to build onto this idea, and I believe that that's exactly what we've done with Optiworld, and that's just what I was looking for. I mean, the small team that I have around this project so far has been very passionate, and they believe in the vision for this website as much as I do, which means a lot to me actually, because obviously it's not that easy. Optiworld is essentially its own social media, but there is a set of changes that we hope will be refreshing to people. So, you know, it'll have common social media functionality that's all been introduced to expand upon the baseline communications that Optube kind of had. I mean, users on Optiworld will have their own profile where they can list their favorite hobbies and interests, they can post thoughts, GIFs, images, and all kinds of different things. You'll be able to add friends and see all of their posts in a unified feed instead of the endless forums of the past website, and you can like, dislike, comment on others' posts. And a feature that was really liked in the Optube community was the badges, right? So essentially this was, you know, a feature that we had on the website where if you did specific things or you participated during certain events, you would get a badge that could be displayed on your profile. And we had a whole bunch of these different badges, and it was a very loved feature by the people who used the website, and so we decided to kind of take this feature from Optube and kind of evolve it a little bit. So these badges that you can earn, you can choose to display them on your profile. You'll have a best badge that you can select, and of course, you know, you can click a little pop-up that'll pull up all the rest of the badges and everything, and you can collect these by doing different things, certain challenges. And to kind of build off of the communication of Optube, we actually have built the, I guess, ability to privately message other users, to basically have DMs with one another. You can even also create chat groups with other users. So for instance, you and a group of your buddies could have a chat room in which you can all just go through and say things on there. You can chat, send pictures with one another, and this is definitely a step up from what we had over on Optube, because it was essentially just more or less communication was based on the forum, right? Like you had to talk pretty much through the forums like it was like an early internet thing, okay? We wanted to kind of build across away from this and kind of give people a more modernized, easy to use, and overall more effective way to communicate with one another on the website. And I've also been reading the comments of videos and some of my community posts, and I've noticed that many of you say you get a good amount of your news from my channel and my Twitter. This is actually a very wonderful comment for me to receive, because to me that says that people genuinely trust me enough to be informed by my videos, and that really means a lot that people put that trust into me. And so I wanted to kind of expand that to Optiworld as well. So a massive problem with social media platforms today, I think, is a double-edged sword. This is my perspective, but the first issue is the clog of misinformation that these websites will hold and promote. And then the other issue being is their flawed presentation of actual news sources. So for instance, I've noticed that over on Twitter, they'll rely on the same, 12 or so news sources for pretty much anything that isn't placed on the trending tab. Most of the time when they're linking something in the news feed, at least for me personally, it's usually like MSNBC, NBC News, CNN, the Washington Post, the Los Angeles Times, the New York Times, occasionally like the New York Post or something like that, and that's pretty much what you get, right? That's the news sources on that website. But while these may be considered reputable news sources, I personally don't believe that the free flow of information that the internet is supposed to embrace is embodied by presenting only a handful of news sources. So we'll be designing a newsfeed that promotes dozens of news sources at launch, which we actually hope to eventually expand to hundreds of reputable global news sources for you to research anything. We'll also be doing exclusive stories from time to time as well, right there, streamlined onto the website. Now, one of the most exciting features to me personally, and I think one of the largest draws initially for Optiworld, is going to be the original content that I will be creating for this website. So, while my sole interest in content creation still remains on YouTube, I wanted to provide users of Optiworld with their own experience that is separated from YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and the other platforms that I use to, promote my content. So there will be two forms of this exclusive content that I'm calling Optimus Originals, okay? One of them will be more of a long-term format of videos, primarily documentaries that I'm planning to make, usually anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half long, and there will be a different type of content that I'm calling Optimus Weekly, which is essentially just a podcast that is built right into the website, that I'll be doing on a weekly basis, covering trending news, different topics, funny things that I found online, anything that I kind of just want to talk about and get off my chest or whatever. So I've been hearing a lot of people talk about me doing a podcast that isn't the one that I have with Cyrus, and we've talked about doing that again and whatnot, but I also of course want to do this one weekly, just as a way to get some, I guess, extra steam out, just to talk about things. I do enjoy making videos and talking about these things, believe it or not. And so for those of you who actually just kind of actively listen to my videos while you're doing other things, this is going to be great, because you're going to have a new weekly episode of just whatever to listen to me ramble about some shit for, 30 minutes to an hour and a half once again. At launch, I'm currently planning to have about 10 of these Optimus Originals out, different types of videos, and of course, starting the Optimus Weekly podcast over there, so there will be exclusive Optimus content for you to enjoy over there, and I think that that's going to be a huge draw, because obviously these videos will not be posted anywhere else. They will be only there. They will be completely free to watch. You will not have to pay to use the platform or anything like that. You can just go on there and watch them at your own discretion whenever you want, pick up on them whenever you want. It doesn't matter, right? As long as you're using it, I'm extremely happy with that. So we also have a lot of features that we're currently calling these potential features, and we aim to implement these eventually down the road with more work to, I guess, really help perfect them somewhat. For instance, we'd like to implement a video uploading and hosting feature where users can upload their own videos like other video platforms would allow. Obviously, this is a top priority feature for down the road. We also want to build a potential feature that would streamline your social media experiences elsewhere directly onto your profile. For instance, we would like for it to be able to set up to link your Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever, right to your profile, so all of your other social media experiences can be right there for your friends on Optiworld to follow if they so choose. We also love to see the potential of you going live on, say, YouTube or Twitch and it being streamlined right onto your Optiworld profile for people to watch along. We would love to implement an arcade to allow users to play games on the website for free. And all of these are what we would consider top priority to enhance the user experience post-launch and to provide features that keep you on the platform. And with all of that being said, though, I would like to kind of move on. I want to address some FAQs, some frequently asked questions about Optiworld that I've seen so far. People have asked, what is the data policy for Optiworld? Will you harvest user data? And even worse, would you ever sell user data? And to just come out and say this right off the bat, the data policy for Optiworld is actually extremely simple. It's not going to be this 80-page scroll through you have to agree to that you just possibly couldn't read if you had all the time in the world. I mean, we want to know what you're comfortable providing us with primarily. We cannot guarantee this policy for third-party groups like social medias that you may integrate onto the website, but Optiworld will mostly only know the things that you provide at sign up and like the interests, I guess, that you select for your profile. So we'll never harvest or collect any unnecessary data. Users obviously should not have to worry about being farmed for every last little piece of information about them when using a website. This is annoying to me, it's annoying to pretty much everybody online. And we don't want you to worry about your information being sold either, because we also promise we will never sell any of your personal information or data. You are not a product to us. This is a website that is built for fans of my audience and for internet users looking for a place to enjoy. This is a passion project. We're doing this, obviously, yes, it will expand my brand, but we're not doing this with the sole intention to simply profit right off the jump. This is being built as an opportunity. This is being built as something to look forward to, not something that we're going to instantaneously start, doing the, I guess, 1984-esque corporate media stuff with the whole harvesting everything we can so we can sell you things, right? I mean, there will be light advertising on the website, and their policies through the ad providers is different than ours, but I'm assuming that this question generally means basically, will we be spying on you, taking your info, and selling it? That is not going to be the case. People have provided a lot of questions about security. How secure will Optiworld be? Will users be vulnerable? Will their information be vulnerable? Is there anything that we should be worried about? Well, we've obviously thought this one over, and Optiworld will be hosted through AWS, which is compliant with SOC2, CSA, many more certifications. It should provide secure and efficient hosting. The website is going to be vulnerability tested repeatedly with OWASP and will be watched with monitoring technologies. Obviously, data will be encrypted as need be through AES 256 level, and we'll be constantly considering even more security features for the platform going forward, as well as it hopefully grows and expands. People have asked if Optiworld will have a mobile app, and yes, we plan on providing a mobile Optiworld experience alongside launch or shortly after launch. This still hasn't been perfected, it is in the works, but obviously the goal right now is to launch with mobile being, a possibility. And the last question I would like to address, will Optiworld have a beta testing period? And yes, Optiworld will have a joinable beta testing period, and actually, you can even sign up today. The link in the pinned comment and in the description will take you to a form that you will fill out. Not everyone who fills out will be signed up for the beta, but we will be selecting people based on participation in OpTube, the intentions that you list for testing the website, and a little bit more. So yes, we will be having a beta that you can participate in, you can help provide feedback and new input, and you'll even be able to talk directly with the staff and I about things that have been, I guess, issues on the platform or what you think could be better, so that we can have a more generated, user-friendly website. Obviously, my heart is still in YouTube, but I'm building this website as a passion project to protect myself. I mean, what if YouTube took me off the website tomorrow? Obviously, I would want to have a backup plan, and I think that this is definitely a good part of that backup plan that also provides opportunities elsewhere. The team and I are actually extremely excited about the amount of support that we've gotten announcing Optiworld so far. We got a couple thousand likes on the community post, a lot of comments that were very supportive, and the Twitter page that we created is actually well over 1,000 followers within a month. So thank you guys so much for all of this support with this, and obviously I anticipate your support after this video as well. This means a lot to me personally, and I am committed to this long term and actually making this something that sticks around. So with that being said though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below, and of course, if you'd like to sign up for the Optiworld beta, go ahead and do that as well. And until my next video guys, this is Optimus, building Optiworld, and signing out.